Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. I am very curious about your feedback regarding Final Fantasy 16, and here's what I mean. The game started off very interesting and strong, and since then it's kind of fizzled out. And like I've told you guys, it seems like every time I play Final Fantasy 16, half of the stream is boring as dirt, and everyone is bored to tears, the viewers and me. And then the other half seems interesting. Do we really want to play a lengthy RPG where 50% of our time is bored to tears? But sadly, it seems like that's the game they made. I don't know what they were fucking thinking, but that's kind of the game they made. It's really weird, because it seems like the opinions on Final Fantasy 16 on the internet are completely opposite. There's one group of people who think this is like the best Final Fantasy they've ever played. They're madly in love with the game and think it's the game of the year. And the other half are like, this game is fucking shitty. I don't know what they did. They ruined Final Fantasy because they made it so much based on the narrative, and the narrative is boring half the time, and we don't know what they were thinking with these fucking cutscenes, and the game sucks. And it's so weird to see that split. You know what I'm saying? It's very odd. But I bought it. I spent $70 on this damn game. And I've already committed 15 plus hours to it. If you remember the last time we played it, there was a time lapse, and essentially now we're entering Act 2, which is really where the game begins. So the way I would say it is, listen, we're definitely going to continue to play the game this week. Let's judge based off of the 2 streams I'm doing this week, whether or not this is something you want to see me continue. If it really is so boring by the end of the week that we're just burnt out on it, we don't have to continue. We could do something else, all right? And I'm okay with that. But I want to be sure we're all on the same page here, because there seem to be some people that every time I play it, oh, don't worry, the better part's coming. All right, well, we're 15 hours in. When's the better part, right? Maybe it's now, because we just hit Act 2, so maybe now is when the better part comes, right? I guess we'll see, but to me, like I said, it's not that I'm not enjoying. There are parts I very much enjoyed, but I'm a streamer. I'm a content creator. I'm an entertainer. I'm supposed to be doing stuff that entertains, not forcibly forcing myself to play a game for 2 hours before I get to an hour of enjoyment, and the entire stream feels the same way as me. I don't know what they were thinking, but I don't think they've heard of pacing before. I don't think they understand the concept of pacing. Whoever made this game really fucked it up, because they easily could have cut out a bunch of this nonsense and made the game way more interesting, and they really took way too long to get to the meat of the game, and really have had issues with their story being drawn out in an entertaining fashion. They could have done a lot better. I think it's kind of sad that the writing is the problem, right? Like, the writing and the elaboration of the story is the problem. If the story had been more streamlined and more, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not giving up on it this week, okay? I want to keep playing it for this week and determine by the end of the week, do we want to continue with this game or not? So let's work on that together. Let's actually, definitively explore this game together this week and see if it gets to a point where we want to continue. I'm hoping that because we hit Act 2, now it will be more interesting. I guess we'll see. Okay? This really baffles me. High's Darkness just said, I think maybe the game isn't for you. Out of all the people I've watched play it, they love the world building and pacing. Okay, question. Honestly, what do they do for the 2 hours where they're doing bullshit? If let's say they play 4-hour streams, 2 hours of their stream, they're talking to townspeople that have nothing to fucking do with anything. They have nothing to do with the plot. They're bullshitting. They're wasting time, running around doing fetch quests. They're getting combs. You know what I mean? How do you find entertainment in that? No, really, I mean it now, Maybe they just are, like, young and they have, like, infinite time. I'm 41 years old. If I'm playing a game, I want to be enjoying myself. I don't want to be wasting time on your menial shit, Every game cannot be, this is now the game you play for 2 months straight. It's an insane time investment of your life, and God forbid you're looking for something fun to do. You're just invested, and you should enjoy every moment of every little menial thing we put into the game. No. Game developers should be looking to entertain first, not fill time. Too many game developers are looking to fill time and put a stamp on their game saying 100 hours of gameplay, when half of that gameplay is not meaningful. That just drives me crazy, right? It's just fucking nuts, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's see. Again, let's see. I don't want to give up on the game. It's becoming too difficult for me to entertain an audience for a game that's full of boredom and bloat. That's what it is, bloat. It's bloated content, not needed. They just say, cut the fat. Get the fat off of there and just give me the lean, delicious stuff. I don't need to know about the fucking farmer who lives down the street who grows a bunch of plums and he has problems watering his plums. So you need to go defeat the freaking random enemies in the field that are blocking the stream that water his plums, and it takes 20 minutes to do this quest. It's fucking boring. You know? It's dumb. It's boring. It's stupid. It's not fun. Sorry. It adds nothing. Here's really what you have to ask yourself, right? So I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. Last stream, for the first time the game opened up, and they let you travel to any part of the map. And all these side quests opened up, right? And I said to my audience, should I do these side quests, right? Because here's the thing. If this game's like Witcher 3, and if these side quests are meaningful and have interesting plots to them, and there's world building, and they're critical, and they'll give you some good rewards in these cases, I will do them, right? Here's what I was told by my audience. No, you can literally skip every side quest up to this point. They're all boring. They're all trivial. They're all meaningless. They're just meant to kind of give side additional lore that really doesn't matter to the main plot of the game at all, and you get no rewards for them of any. It's just a waste of time. So I just said fuck it then, and I continued with the story. Next thing you know, there's a time lapse. We're 5 years later, and I realized they were correct. I could have spent 4 hours in an open world doing every little trivial, meaningless piece of side content, and there still would have been the time lapse, and all those people would have been erased from existence, and none of it mattered. Like, wow. I don't know, man. See, here's the thing. I'm going to directly respond to this. Anso Kamaru says, it adds plenty. People want to enjoy a game and immerse themselves in the lore. None of the side quests are boring. There are plenty of side quests that tie directly to the story. The few side quests we've done were insanely boring. We haven't done a single side quest that's been meaningful, and I did a few of them, and every one of them was just a time waster with literally nothing added to the lore of the game. It's just boring. We've done a few. Everyone was boring. Hand gruel to the guy who's hungry on a bench. It's fucking boring. All right, it's a waste. You know, kill these generic enemies, get an item out in the field, trade it in. Boring. Save this guy who's lost in the field surrounded by enemies. Boring. Doesn't add anything. It's a side story for the sake of having a side story. Now you say, world building and immersion. Okay? Here's what I consider being immersed. Playing any game for 30 to 40 hours is immersive to me, because that's an experience that takes such an amount of time that I feel familiar and a part of the world. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just about to hit the 50-hour mark. I feel like I've been a part of this world for a month and a half. I feel immersed in it. I do. Now you can say, but Phil, actually Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has 100 hours of content and you skipped 50 hours. Who cares? I played the game for 50 hours. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've enjoyed the main dungeons. I've enjoyed the lore. I enjoyed the exploration aspect of getting all the Tears of the Dragon, right? That was fun. All the, what are they called? Geoglyphs. And, you know, getting all the towers and all that. It was fun. It really was. Genuinely, I enjoyed it. Some of the sky temples and things was fun. Now, I skipped 40 hours of side content. Does it matter? I was immersed. I had a great time. And when I beat this game, I have just as much of a legitimate reason to review it as anyone else. Just because there's 40 more hours of content doesn't make it more immersive. It makes it more time consuming. If you want to immerse yourself in that and consume more of your time. But when you're someone who's trying to enjoy a variety of games in a set time frame, that doesn't matter. Do you understand what I'm saying? Final Fantasy 16 attempts to immerse you in the world, and that's great, but don't immerse me with a bunch of boring, menial shit. Immerse me with things that mean something. Actual world building, not the guy has to take a shit and I have to find a way to clean the outhouse for him. That's boring. No one cares about that in 2023. That's shit they used to do back in the day, early days of RPGs. Why did they do that? Because back then, games were limited. You could only store a certain amount of data on a cartridge or a disc. So what they did is they would put in menial quests to pad the length of their games because they couldn't program in enough original assets to have original content but make the game longer. Those old fetch quests, those old kill a certain amount of monster quests existed to add world building when they couldn't fit more assets into the game to world build properly. We don't have that excuse anymore, but game developers are following the same tropes because they're not original, because they don't have enough creativity. They just follow the same shit they've always been doing. It's boring. Sorry, it's 2023. Wasting half my time on your menial grindy shit is fucking boring. It doesn't actually make my game experience better. It just wastes my time. And I'm done with it at this point. I will criticize when it's valid. Yes, Tears of the Kingdom is a great game and also has a bunch of bloated, boring, unspecific, time-wasting content that just annoys you if you're trying to actually get progress in the game. Final Fantasy 16 seems to be exactly the same. Stop wasting my fucking time. My time is valuable. I don't have time to waste. I'm getting older. Give me fun experiences, not waste of my fucking life. I demand more as a gamer. Sorry, I deserve it. I paid my money. I didn't want to waste my fucking time playing your boring shit. Seriously, I boot up fucking Final Fantasy 16. There better be something on every stream that entertains me. If not, the game developer failed, not me. Yesterday, someone left a comment on my video that drove me nuts. Here's what they said, all right? So let me get this straight, Phil. You went to the Great Fairy, and you don't have, in 50 hours of gameplay, enough moblin horns to do a basic armor upgrade. Wow. To which I responded to the comment, yeah, wow. How is that a shortcoming of me? I played the game for 50 hours and Nintendo didn't make it so that the item drops. Nintendo made the game, not me. You're right. In 50 hours of gameplay, you should have just gotten the items to do basic armor upgrades. It shouldn't have been more of a time investment of 50 fucking hours of your life to do a basic upgrade. Your comment completely proves my point about these games. You did it. You hit it on the head. Nintendo should have made it more valuable time. No, you kill 1 million enemies and rarely do you get an item you actually need for anything constructive. Well then fuck it. You failed. I should be getting the items. I didn't avoid combat the whole game. I beat every dungeon. I fought all the mobs along the way. Why the fuck don't I have upgrade items? Because Nintendo failed, not me. Don't blame the gamer for not wanting to waste more of their life in the game. They already invested enough time. We got to be reasonable at this point and stop fucking kissing the ass of the game developers because you're fanboys of the fucking genre. Stop it. Really, fucking stop it. It's nuts that we keep defending this. We should demand better for our time. Not, oh, everyone gets a fucking pass. No, demand better and we'll get better games. Imagine if Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was 100 hours and all 100 hours was interesting narrative and extrapolation and fun and not just wander in circles wondering if you'll ever get the item you need to upgrade. Or, gee, did I stumble upon a stables that starts a critical quest line that's important to the fucking upgrade tree? No. Just fucking make the game 100 hours of meaningful content. Cut out your 40 hours of fat bullshit. But instead, people just continue to kiss the ass. You kiss the ass, you'll get more bloat, you'll get more boredom, and you'll sit here on a stream, wow, we're so excited for Final Fantasy 16. And we start to play like, what the fuck's going on? Why are we still in a cutscene? Why are we talking to the townspeople again? Just fucking do something. You're putting me to sleep. I paid $70 for this. Okay. Anyway, obviously I've gone on a rant, but the rant is warranted. If anything, this last month has proven the fact that these RPGs today aren't streamlined enough to be entertaining to any kind of an audience because they waste too much time. Even being interactive with you guys, because, you know, when we're getting bored with these games, of course I'm talking with you and we're having a good time interacting, but still, cut the bloat. Fuck, man. And that's the other thing, too, that's hilarious about Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo justified Tears of the Kingdom being $70 by saying it's $70 because it's 100 hours long. Your game is not 100 hours long. It's not. Your game is around 50 hours long. You put in 50 hours of bullshit, and then you charge more money for it. Then don't give me 50 hours of bullshit. I'll pay the normal price for the Streamlined game that's fun. And that way I don't have to put up with your excuse for why you had to charge me more money. Because that's the other catch there, too. Right? Unbelievable. And here's the other funny part of people being stupid too. Phil just wants a game that's on rails. Couldn't be further from the truth. What was the most fun part that I had in Final Fantasy 16 so far? The first time we went to a map and the game let you explore. Instead of just being on rails, there was optional areas to go and fight enemies, little mini bosses and stuff. That was the most fun part because it felt like Final Fantasy for the first time in the whole game. But that felt meaningful. It did. It was like, oh, I can choose to explore if I so choose. I can go off. I can look for optional items. I could do all this stuff. Now, admittedly, to find out all the optional items I picked up were worthless because they're just crafting items you don't even use, that pissed me off. But it was still fun to be able to have that freedom to explore, right? There's a difference between, oh, there's optional content that's fun because I choose to do it, or you sat through 20 hours of boring cutscenes that have nothing to do with the story. Big difference. Just, like, holy shit. Can we stop with the nonsense? People are crazy today, man. Everything is the game defense force, right? Well, Phil's just a hater. I'm not a hater. I want better experiences for me and you. I want our time to be better invested in meaningful gameplay experiences because this is now the biggest entertainment medium in the world, right? Imagine if you went to see a movie and it's a 2.5 hour movie, and out of that movie, 1 hour and 45 minutes, you are bored to tears, but there's one really good sequence of a half an hour. Would you say it's a good movie? No. Everyone would say that movie sucked. The pacing was bad, the writing was bad, but yet games are exactly that. But we all give them a pass. That's fine. Why do you think people are so bored with Final Fantasy 16 on my streams? Because the game's fucking boring. There's too much fucking bullshit. It's bad, boring bullshit. Cut it out. Give me good stuff. You want to know a game that blew me away that was streamlined? Mafia 2. Mafia 2 is a game that almost has no side content whatsoever. But every moment you're playing it, there's interesting story developments, there's interesting gameplay, and even though it's a shorter game, it's actually under 20 hours long. Every moment you play the game, you're having fun. So, give me a game like that. Stop wasting my time. Give me a game without the bullshit, without the lore, world building. Ooh, I need to be immersed in its universe of bullshit. It's all bullshit. Pull your head out of your ass. It's bullshit. Are you studying how many warts are on the ass of each moblin? That's lore. It's interesting, right? Come on. These fucking people, man. Oh, my God. Anyway. Exactly. Goldfish says, and that's sad because Mafia 3 was one of the worst examples of bloat. Correct. Why is Mafia 2 a better game than Mafia 3? Because in Mafia 3, you had the good, streamlined content that was fun, but then you couldn't do the next story mission until they forced you to do grinding, boring, open world gameplay of base takeovers, gang takeovers, and it sucked ass. It was like, why are you wasting my time and making me do 20 to 30 hours of boring bullshit to advance your otherwise great plot? Fuck you. Stop wasting my time. Why? They wanted to slap a tag on. This game has 60 hours of content. No, it doesn't. It has 15 hours of content with 40 hours of time wasting. It's not the same. Okay. So anyway, here's the funny part about it is we just played an RPG, right? We just played a classic, Final Fantasy V. Remember that one? You remember how that one had a lot of interesting stuff in the story, but also side content that was fun and meaningful? You want to talk about a game? The classics got it right. The classic games did it absolutely correctly with the balance. That if you so choose to do this optional super dungeon or fight this optional super boss, you could do it. You didn't have to. There was enough meaningful content in the main story that was challenging and fun, and the plot was interesting, kept you engaged. The classics did it right with RPGs. And then somehow along the way, they just lost their way. You know what it is? It really was the era when RPGs meshed with MMOs. Because all of a sudden, instead of it being the meaningful stuff in the RPG, they just said, let's throw in a bunch of MMO shit. Let's have you go search for the meaningless item for world building purposes. Let's go have you kill 400 mobs to get a random item drop. Why did they fuse? MMOs work because they're supposed to be online social experiments with time investment, so you're having fun with a group. I don't need to have MMO elements in my single player RPG. I never did. It was really when the fusion happened that all of a sudden everything fucked up for RPGs and became a waste of everyone's time. It really was. And it hasn't improved. It's gotten worse. It keeps pushing towards that every game is an MMO. No, they're not. Not every game is game as a service. Not every game is a time waster game. And not every game is an MMO. Just because I'm playing an RPG doesn't mean I want 100 hours. If it's 100 meaningful hours, I'll gladly take it. But I don't need 100 hours where 60 hours are boring time wasters. Give me 40 hours of good content. And tell me where the good content is so I can do it. Not that you give me a 100-hour world, oh, but the good content's hidden over here to the side and you kind of have to stumble upon it yourself. No, just tell me where to fucking go. All right. I've ranted and ranted again. I think we're done with the rants here, okay? Let's seriously stop with the ranting, all right? But I think you see my point. Once we finish with Diablo, once we finish with Zelda, we need variety. We need to be doing something completely different. We'll see if I continue with Final Fantasy 16 after this week. Let's see how the game goes, all right? I want your feedback, really. When I'm streaming Final Fantasy 16, come on by. Let me know what you think. By the end of this week, I would like to make a determination. Are we continuing with this game? Or is it actually so badly designed with this bloat and bad pacing that it's too boring and we don't want to continue? Because I don't want to commit myself. By the way, I have no clue how long Final Fantasy 16 is. I don't want to commit myself to another 80-hour playthrough where we're going to be bored for 2 months. I'm being honest, I've had enough of that. I want something that's going to be entertaining to all of us. Not that we're sitting around with our thumbs up our butts, bored to tears, falling asleep. Okay, so let's see what happens in the next week, and then we'll make a determination for ourselves. Okay? Okay.
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.